And we tried to do it on the basis that you made your entries, that is, on service, enterprise, and self-reliance. But then, of course, we came across a great problem because these three things overlapped so much. For instance, the Northampton Road Member Club, their members organised a junior section, nothing to do with the leader at all, but completely run by the members themselves. Well, now they put it down, I'm not sure whether they put it down on enterprise or service, but it could be enterprise in that it was a jolly good idea to look after the younger people. Equally, it could be a service as a help to the community. Then, of course, there was size to talk about, wasn't there, Marjorie?
Yes, there were a lot of problems of that kind. We had to bear in mind all the time that these clubs and the other youth groups were of very different sorts and sizes, and there was the important question of whether they had their own premises or not, and what sort of use they had of borrowed premises. Mm-hmm. And then there were, those things we had to take into consideration, didn't we, of whether it was a long-established group that had a lot of traditions behind it, or if it was a small bunch of people just beginning to make their way and build up a tradition.
Quite.
Do you remember, we were awfully impressed with that very big group, the Bourneville Youth Club.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
200 tons of paper collected in salvage, which was turned into 20 television sets they bought, and they not only bought them but installed them for old people too. But then we went straight from that to that little group, the Sandbach Youth Hostel Association people, who, you remember, were picking pears and going to sell them and get some money into their own little funds. And then they heard of the Lynmouth tragedy, and right away they were able to make a switch, and they put their money into the disaster fund.
It's a wonderful idea.
It was good, wasn't
yes,
it? And so quick-minded.
Quite. I think that even with those problems of size and things to deal with, and the other subjects that Marjorie Tate has mentioned, we did, in the end, try to judge it as best we could on these three headings. And I think perhaps we better deal with it in that way. I think, don't you, Marjorie?
Yes, well, look, may I just take service?
Please,
yes, I'll take service first. Of course, we can't mention all the kinds of service there were, because every one of these clubs did first-rate service. But there was a most impressive kind. Now, who were those Lancashire people? The Royton Squadron of the ATC, the Air Training Corps. Well, now, their mountain rescue team, that's a wonderful piece of work, I'm quite sure. Indeed. 24 hours available, and they must be good, or their employers wouldn't let them off for it. Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. But right at the other end, because it's so homely and yet so useful too, there are those charitable choppers, a grand name, the Northampton Roadmender people, the boys who go chopping wood and then sacking it and sending it round to old people, or taking it round to old people. And remember, first of all, the sack had a kettle holder that the girls made with it, and now they're going a bit further and going to have an old people's feast. Well, I like those two especially, I think.
Yes, I agree, Marty. Perhaps I can talk about enterprise, may I? Enterprise, well, one of the ones that we remember very clearly was the Bristol Aces Youth Club, who provided a guerrilla force for the local territorials to practice on. I think a most noble job to crawl around the countryside late at night. I guess they had a pretty good time on the whole. They ended up with wonderful cups of cocoa.
Yes, and capturing one of the enemy and not getting captured themselves, you remember?
Yes, but certainly a most worthy job to do. And then there was the Tamworth Youth Centre, who put on their own fashion parade and persuaded the local tradespeople to provide club mannequins with the latest styles to display. Not quite sure who enjoyed it most, the mannequins, the tradespeople, or the audience, but it seemed to have been a great success.
Yes, I had a little inside information on that. I believe they all enjoyed it equally. Well, now, can I just pick up from you and go on to self-reliance? Because that's something where we were so impressed, weren't we, by the way in which all these people seemed to be either building their own premises. For instance, we were there at the Sandbach people again, rebuilding premises or making premises out of ammunition boxes, largely, it seems. And then the Plymouth Girls Nautical Training Corps, who've reconditioned that whaler. Remember, that's the one in which they outraced their own commander-in-chief on an absolutely heroic occasion. And
satisfaction.
Then marvellous. The Tamworth people, too. Tamworth Youth Centre, who've been redecorating their own premises. Roadmender Club, as far as I remember, they've got 22 rooms and not a decorator in the place since 1939. And especially the Roadmender Club's claim, you remember, we don't ask for money. We earn what we need, or we do things for ourselves. I think that's good. That's real self-reliance.
Yes. Well, Marge, I think we've mentioned 7 out of the 8. There remains the 8th, which is, in our view, the winner. It scrapes to a win with a very short head. As Margie has said, it's been a terribly difficult job. All adjudicators say that it's been a terribly difficult job to do judging like this, but it really has been so difficult with the various problems that we've already mentioned. But we have come to a decision, and the title goes to a group in Wales. Marty.
Yes, well, yes, he's going to let me have the pleasure of actually saying the name on the air. It's the Milo Club of, now then, am I going to be able to pronounce this, I wonder? Aberfire. I hope that's right. Anyway, it's near Wrexham and it's in North Wales. And this club, we thought, had 3 special claims to fame. In the first place, it's self-reliant. Well, I expect lots of the groups that we've heard of have good committees, but we listened in to this particular committee, 6 boys and 6 girls, and from what they were doing, what they were saying, it seemed to us they were really running things and taking real responsibility.
Indeed, I thought their service was so good too, Marjorie. They have a most beautiful choir. They really sing frightfully well, which in itself is an extremely good cultural activity, but at the same time is a great service to the community in that they raise a tremendous amount of money by giving concerts and so forth, which goes to help various local charities, and they also entertain hospitals and old folks' homes and so forth.
And we did enjoy that bit we heard of it
Indeed
ourselves,
we did,
didn't
indeed.
we? Yes, and then, of course, their enterprise. Well, it's a piece of real slogging hard work, because the club members are levelling 10 acres of desolate pit bank, they're sowing grass, and they're well on their way to making their own club sports ground. And from what we can hear of it, they're going to have some very fine buildings on it, too, before they finish, wouldn't you say, Richard?
Yes, I wouldn't be at all surprised. Well, now, that is the decision. You've heard about the Milo Youth Club, so there you are. The winners, Milo, are here. Some of them heard about the news late last night, and here to be congratulated are 2 representatives, Rennie Jones and Terry Rawlings.
And we do congratulate you very warmly indeed, Terry and Rennie.
Indeed.
Very much.
And, well, now's your chance to tell the rest of the club what it feels like.
Well, it was a great rush getting here. The first thing I heard about it was 10:30 last night, coming home from the pictures on the bus, everyone frantically waving to me to get off the bus. And since then, it's been one mad rush coming down this morning on the train.
Yeah.
It's very nice to be here anyway.
Good.
Well, club members, you'll be pleased to know that Mr. Hughes has come with us tonight, and he's smiling away in that box just behind the glass panel. I don't know what particularly to say, but I just want to say that it's been teamwork that's got us this prize.
Yes, well, we
Indeed.
did feel that, didn't we?
Indeed,
We were quite
greatly
sure
we
of
did.
it.
We were greatly impressed by that fact.
Well, now to finish off, we'll get them here to play one of the club choir records. Here they are singing Robin the Ogg.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, lovely. We shall like that.
And that brings us to the end of the competition, except to say that the winners will be hearing from us again early in 1953, when we hope you will be hearing from them in a rather special capacity in one of Parade's programs. Further than that, my lips are sealed.
Well, as Keith's lips are sealed, that leaves me to do the talking and to introduce your only young once. Episode 10, in which Mum takes a back seat.